how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a proper seam in sheet vinyl flooring. Okay, so the type of flooring I'm going to be using right here is a wood grain vinyl. This might be a little different than a tile look or something like that, and I'll explain why we're going to do this a little different than tile in just a second. So the difference in the wood grain vinyl and a traditional tile look vinyl is the tile will actually have a really wide grout line, probably about the width of the ink pen there, where the wood grain vinyl has just about like a little pin mark on that. So I'm going to go about this a little different since it is a wood grain and a super thin grout line, okay? And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to completely remove one grout line here and leave one on here, okay? So what I'm going to do is take this and slide it over just a hair, just to get maybe a 1/16 of an inch from this line to that line. That way whenever I make my cut, I'm actually taking this line off and leaving this one on, okay? Now to keep that in check all the way down, what I'm going to do is take a brand new blade, definitely got to have a brand new blade, and I'm going to put just some little slip marks in it, not many, just so that I can fold it back like this and see the grout line underneath of it, okay? I'm going to do 2, and then I'll be able to check my other end as well. Definitely want to do it on each end and then maybe a couple in the middle there, just to make sure that your seam is directly on. It's very important in these little bitty grout lines that you do keep an eye on that, because if these will actually run together, you'll have a big fat spot in the grout line, or you'll have it completely disappear, which will make the seam stand out like a sore thumb. So you definitely don't want that. You got to be super precise with this wood grain vinyl, okay? Now, if I was on a job doing this, I would get this perfect just like this. I would run me some blue tape right here so it didn't move and actually set some weight on it. And I would take and fold this whole piece back just like this. And I would glue everything over here except for about 2 feet by the seam, maybe 1.5 feet by the seam. Then I'd fold this back over in the glue and only have my seam on both pieces to deal with. So that's where we're going to start off in this video, actually making the seam, okay? Okay, so as you can see now, I'm just going down through here and double checking to make sure my seam is all good, my grout lines, okay? Definitely want a sharp blade, and I do not want to use a utility blade. I want to use a carpet blade because they are the thinnest that you're going to get. A utility blade is going to be really thick and cause a slightly thicker gap in it, okay? Okay, so you can see here that I've got about a 32nd, maybe a 64th between my grout line and straight edge, and also from the bottom grout line, the piece that I'm cutting off, I have about the same distance from the top grout line to the bottom grout line. That way there's no chance of me cutting off both grout lines or leaving too much on to where they run together. Now that I got my straight edge placed, I'm going to simply slice through. Really important that you have your carpet blade straight up and down, okay? If you have it angled in or out just a little bit, you're going to have gaps in your seams, okay? Really important to keep your blade straight up and down. Okay. With that done now, I'm going to be super careful not to move it. I'm going to pull away the scraps. Okay. There we go. Now this is going to fall together just beautifully right there, okay? I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive under this and put it together permanently. This is TensorGrip G67. It is a water-based, pressure-sensitive flooring adhesive. It's made specifically for sheet vinyl, vinyl tiles, and such like that, okay? Vinyl plank, all that stuff. And it's super easy to use because it's a spray method, okay? So for the sake of this video, I'm going to use this. It's really good for small repairs and such like that. I've actually done full-out rooms with that stuff before. I really like this product. It's a really good product. Definitely, I'm getting it a little heavy here since I'm so close. I don't want to cause a huge mess in my studio. So the seam sealer that I'm going to be using on this is a DT65. It's a low gloss seam sealer for the low gloss vinyl. If you're using a really shiny vinyl, you're definitely going to want to get a high gloss vinyl. This is a very important step of making your seams. You have to have this on there, and you have to have the proper seam sealer, or else you're going to be in trouble down the road. I guarantee it, okay? Whatever sheet vinyl that you're installing, see what the specs say on it, see what the manufacturers recommend for the different brand of seam sealers that are able to be used on your vinyl, okay? Again, this is a DT65 made by Tarkett, and it is a two-part process here. It comes with part A and part B, 1 ounce of each, 1 ounce in each bottle. And what you're going to do is you're going to take and mix half and half in an applicator bottle, which I did here. You can see now that I have 1 ounce in there. What I did, I put a ½ ounce of each in each bottle, and you have to get these to mix up really good. You do not want to take this bottle and shake it like that. You're going to have air bubbles all in it. After you pour your ½ ounce and ½ ounce in it, simply roll it like this, and you're not going to cause a bunch of air bubbles in your sealer. If you have air bubbles in your sealer, you're going to have weak spots in your sealer, and it's also going to show up more as you put it down there, okay? The thing about this is a chemical. It's a super strong chemical. It'll actually take these two pieces of vinyl that we're going to be joining and melt them together as one piece. So whenever the next guy comes in and tears them up, if you do it properly, you'll not even rip the seam apart. When you pull it up, it will come completely up just as if it was one piece. I've done it. Okay, so for the sake of the video, I'm going to go a little bit premature on this. This typically should be a little bit drier, but like I said, for the sake of the video, I'm going to go. You can see the difference here. Let me point this out if you're wondering what it should look like. So this, where it's not white, is what it should be. These thicker spots where it's still white, it should not be that way. It should be completely translucent, and then you know it's nice and tacky, okay? So anyway, for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm going to roll my seam starting from back here and work my way closer to the seam. That way I don't have any air bubbles getting trapped underneath of it, okay? So when I place the other side in there, I don't want to just flop the whole piece down in there, okay? Usually what I'll do if I'm on a long seam, I'll have my guy hold this up down here, and then I will come in one dent at a time, and I'm actually going to push from where I started gluing right up to my joint like that. It's good if it overlaps just barely, okay? So as you can see, I'm working it together to my seam, and like I said, it should be overlapped just a little bit. And for that reason right there, look at here, see that? So it is overlapped just a little bit, and the reason for that is I want to take and zip it up like a Ziploc, just like that. Now that is a beautiful seam right there. Now that I got it together, I want to go ahead and take and roll everything. Again, I'm going to start from back here and work my way that direction. So this seam is completely put together, and now all we have to do to finish this is apply our seam sealer, okay? These applicator bottles will come with a T-shaped nozzle on them, okay? This T-shape right here is actually going to go in between the two pieces of vinyl as you squeeze your sealer out and move along your seam. This causes a slight gap in your joint there that allows the sealer to come out and go in between both pieces of vinyl so that the sealer gets in between it and not just on top of it, okay? So getting that buried between the two pieces of vinyl as you're sealing it is very important. Okay, once again, I'm going to take that little T-piece and make sure that it is sunk in the vinyl, and I'm going to squeeze and pull right along. That seam will actually close right back up as I drag this along, and you'll see it on top also. Okay, Now that seam is completely 100% ready to go. You can see I got just a little fine line of that sealer on top. The majority of it went down in between it where you want it to be. The sheen that you see, the shininess of that is going to blend right into this matte finish as soon as that dries. This is a low gloss sealer, so it's going to blend perfectly in with the vinyl, okay? Alright, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you find this video helpful. Hopefully it will help you in your day-to-day installs. Once again, if you found value in the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment if you have any questions, and share the video with your friends. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, FBSB's out.